Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly game master today, because today we are carrying on with our ongoing campaign playing Paizo Publishing's very cool fantasy RPG Pathfinder 2nd edition. We're playing in a custom setting, the Spires of Paridar setting, a world of occult conspiracy, Coalpunk, wealth disparity, and mystery. And shadows, I suppose. That would really apply for this adventure. This is part 6 of our story, The Endless Odyssey. If you have missed the previous ones, please feel free to go back and find that. We got a playlist on the channel for that. If you are caught up, well, then let me introduce you to the stars of the Spires of Paridar campaign. I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen here. As I do so, I'll get you guys to put your hero points back down to 1. And then I want you to tell us who you are and who you're playing. First up, we've got Sean.
Good morning. Playing Golag, son of Doc. He is a orc witch that is a detective by trade.
Very nice. Next up is James.
I'm Sally Dumer, the mysterious underwater debutante and close friend to Golag.
Nice. Next up is Ingolf.
Hi, I'm Ingolf. I'm playing Basil Rathbone, who is an Isoki investigator. And yeah, he's on a train also.
Yeah, nice. And last but certainly not least is Darren.
Darren, I'm playing Dr. Adam Ersprung, who's a level 2 inventor, and he's a trusty sidekick, Igor. Very
nice. Now, in general, I will say that our this story thus far, this mystery, has involved you guys investigating a new fad in the amongst the rich and fashionable in Paridar, and that is a medium who goes by the name, let's see here, Augustus Thorngrove. And he is the head of a order, a society called the Endless Odyssey, which are the Elder Order of the Endless Odyssey. You guys became involved with this because of an invitation to a party where something unusual happened, and then you were introduced to a family who says that they had lost their daughter to the Endless Order. Investigations have ensued, and you guys have faced 2 instances that I can recall of violence where shadowy creatures have attacked you. Last session, our heroes were gifted, after meeting with a new member of the faculty of the College of Magic at Collingwood University. They were gifted with a number of unusual kind of clockwork inventions, and they, because of, I think it was Basil's keen eyes, they also saw that these new gifts did not go unnoticed because they were being observed by someone. Golag and Basil, I believe, were the ones who prompted the charge to follow this strange individual, which led to an eventful chase across the streets of Paridar, trying to reach a train in time. And there were some triumphs, and there were some failures in that. We saw a mugging thwarted. We saw someone display their kinship with rat folk, and we saw that horticulture and maintaining a garden is a little bit of a harder task than it looks at first glance. Hey, Golag?
Oh, yeah. Climbing walls is the real...
it's the real challenge.
Bugaboo there, yeah.
But however, in spite of the different routes, all roads led to the train bound for a city or a town, I believe called Oakford. No, Dunsbridge. And that's where we left our heroes. Some had sat elsewhere on this train. Am I missing anything, guys, from last time?
Golag's waistcoat is severely mauled.
Completely ruined.
He's not his usual dapper self.
I don't know if that was necessary to bring up, but fine.
And I don't know if I think you pulled a classic, Batman or Ninja posting, because I swear there was a posting about the waistcoat on Discord, and then I went to read it. It was gone again. So,
is that you, James?
It's me. It's a mysterious deleter. Was back.
It's fantastic.
He's almost running his own. What's the service? Where you have text messages that automatically disappear. Yeah. Like James has got his own thing going.
That's great time. You got to enjoy those posts while they last.
That's right.
All right. So then, guys, where our session opens is with all of you pulling away from the station on a train bound for Dunsbridge. Now, what you know about Dunsbridge from last time, just as a refresher, Dunsbridge is where Stoneburn Manor, the home that has been turned over to the Elder Order of the Endless Odyssey, not Elder Eye. It's just all coming back to Cthulhu. Like it's just all roads lead to Lovecraft. So, guys, now I believe that Golag, am I right? You're the one who sat next to this woman who claimed to not know anything? Or to not recognize you?
I want to say it was it Basil? Because I actually, you know what? I don't remember. I remember Golag being shaken up and him like letting others like take, someone. He's watching for what he should be doing because, his coat's ruined, as has already been mentioned.
Well, I believe Basil and Dr. Earthsprung were working together because they were sort of being the Heckle and Jekyll of delaying the train and then throwing that poor bastard who Basil stole the newspaper from under the train, as it were, as the one delaying.
Yeah.
Sally.
So maybe it was Golag. So Golag regained his, hopefully his presence, and does his best, straightens his tie, whatever. And
so what? You said, and there was a woman who was she had when you saw her outside of when Basil saw her outside of the Shadow Illuminations office, she was wearing gloves and a veil. And I think you guys all were thinking that it was likely, what's her name? Gwendolyn Fallow, the former student of Professor Galberry. And then when she brought the veil back, you could see that it was not her. It was, in fact, you think you recognized her from one of the acolytes, and she certainly has a red stone around her neck. In a choker.
That's right. The stone.
So that will we'll pick up our session from there, and she looks at you and says, "I'm sorry, sir. Do I know you? And would you give us? Let's get some dice rolling right away here."
Yeah.
Where is?
So I'm sitting right next to her. Right, we're like almost share an armrest in that sense. And then where is Sally?
Sally, I don't. Basil and Dr. Earthsprung, I know, are kind of back on the left-hand side. She's a little further up on the right. Sally, where do you think you have positioned yourself?
I'll be behind Golag. Since we'd got on at the same time and everything, I've been as near next to you.
So you're like sitting on my other side.
Yeah, exactly.
Row. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And then
like across the aisle, you mean, or behind him, or
do we share the other armrest? Is it next to me, or is it across the aisle?
So she is closest to the window. The lady in black is close to the window.
In that case, I'm on the
seat.
other side of the aisle.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, truly the most thrilling part. Some people may think that marching order is an important thing. Seat arrangement on a train is really where it's at for RPGs.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
So Basil and Adam, are you guys in a different row? I mean, I'm just getting a little.
I think they're back and on the left, aren't you guys?
We were.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, we were, because we were sort of hiding from sort of.
Yeah. Okay.
We were just keeping an eye on her while we were waiting for someone to catch up, because they seem to be taking quite some time, if I remember rightly.
Yeah. Late. I'm late. I've been late a lot lately.
All All right, I'm gonna grab my difficulty classes here. Okay, so Golag, why don't you give us a give us a perception check, please.
Okay.
All right, so you're fairly certain that she that you recognize her as one of the ladies at the thing. You would want to double check with Basil. Basil really has a mind for this stuff, but if you you're 95% sure, but the expression she's giving you is that she has no clue who you are.
I think Golag finds himself. He looks around. He like takes a peek, kind of like Sean just did. He takes a peek, getting like the lay of the land of like where everyone is. Obviously Sally's right here, but then Basil, like wanting to kind of catch Basil's eye because like trying to place this all of a sudden lady that he didn't expect. And then clears his throat.
So why don't you? Are you trying to hide that whatsoever, or are you?
I think he's probably trying to be nonchalant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give us a deception check then, please. So see whether she is able to pick up pretty good.
In fact, he probably does a little of the, I don't know how it looks for an orc, but straighten the.
You're the orcish version of Columbo. You're kind of rumpled, and that's one more thing.
Right, right, and the coat straightening, and he does a little. And he gets his, and he's trying to find people.
So you spy back. Sorry, Ingolf, you're gonna say something?
Yeah, maybe I just misremembering, but didn't you say it was Beatrice from the coven we met earlier? But maybe I just...
Well, it's a woman that you met from earlier, but you're not sure who it is.
Okay, so yeah.
I think there was speculation that it might be her, because you guys know the two other names thus far, but she is not, as far as I remember, she didn't introduce... do I have that wrong, guys, or...
I'm not sure. It's possible. It rings a little bell, but I can't go, oh, yeah, that was it. I'm not sure. It could be.
I just found it in my notes, so I'm...
Yeah, there's the two others. There's Cassandra Brancaster and Beatrice Ivy Wood are the two other ones.
Yeah, no, but it doesn't matter. It's some of the girls. Yeah.
Okay. So you look back and you can see, so Basil, I think you maybe see Dr. Earthsprung is a good shoulders above the chair, and Basil's probably on his feet, standing on the chair, kind of looking over in order to have the view. And so you spy a look back from Golag to look like, he nonchalantly gives you a look of I don't know who this is.
He gives the if it's effective of of puzzlement, looking at the face.
Okay.
And Golag says, yes, well, I couldn't help but notice you keeping an eye on our business, which is the I always forget the exact words, but the help me, Kevin. What is it? It's
Shadow Illuminations.
Shadow Illuminations. You were in the alley across from our office, and I just thought we'd have a word.
She again gives you the same perplexed look of I don't know what you're. Sir, I believe you have me confused with someone else. And the conductor comes by. Ticket, sir.
And I get out my wallet.
Okay.
And
uh-oh.
Yeah, once more with the coat as he's yes. Actually, you know what? He's probably happy for the interruption because he's, it's not who he expected. He's a little bit, and he just barely made it over the wall 4 minutes ago. So he's like, oh, thank God.
He's looking a little rumpled as well too.
Totally. And as he does this, he looks at Sally, I think, if you've got an angle, jump in here anytime.
Sally, you're right. You're immediately behind them, so you would be able to hear the conversation back and forth. Basil and Dr. Earthsprung, why don't you give us, it's going to be a low difficulty, but give us a perception check for each of you, please. Just to see if you're distracted by anything else. I don't know if any of you guys were on Twitter yesterday or the day before, but I think this is the point where the distraction is someone stands up with a guitar and starts singing on the train about the what do you call it? The Radiant Order. So, Dr. Earthsprung, you unfortunately are distracted by something. There's something making noise that just has your attention. Basil, you're able to hear what clearly what the conversation is. Your little ears are kind of twitching as you're listening in. Golag, you're able to pay for this. Does anyone now thinking back to where you guys were? Does anyone else have any issues with having cash on them? Do you think?
I mean, I think I would carry. I think as you
guys were at breakfast, you were interrupted at breakfast, right, by the thing. Some of you guys were only barely up. You grabbed your coats and whatnot. I'll leave it to you to decide whether there is any issue.
Lady always has her purse.
Okay, so you're good to pay for your ticket.
I don't think Golag's a house coat kind of guy. Like, I mean, I think if he emerges from his from his upstairs chambers.
Yep.
I mean, I think he's good to go. Like, I think he's done his thing. He doesn't come down like a house coat type of a.
Yeah.
I think Basil is unprepared. He was not really awakened.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about Dr. Earthsprung?
Yeah, I don't think he carries money, full stop, to be honest. I just don't think that's a consideration of his. It's like every penny that comes in goes straight back into buying something for some needy person or supplies, or I think he just lives day to day almost.
Okay.
I just don't think he'd have it.
So you spare a look back at I think as you're paying Golag, and you can see that Basil and Adam are both sort of looking at each other like
and Golag has a moment of feeling like the dad who like and says I'll take those two as well, and fishes in his
Basil and Dr. Earthsprung. You see the lady in black gets up, looks over, and spies both of you when you're pointed out by Golag. Basil, it's definitely one of the ladies from the thing. 100% you are. There's no mistake. And you're not. There is definitely this plays into your investigator trait. There is definitely a family resemblance with the Ivy Woods.
Yeah, okay. So, now she's looking at us, I suppose.
She only sort of looks back as the, Golag points you guys out to the conductor, and then she turns away.
Yeah. So I'd say, Adam, I need a distraction. And I would like, I don't know, is it possible to crawl under the seats?
It's possible, yeah. What are you, I mean, you're quite small and,
Yeah. So my idea is I would just try to steal this amulet again. So, but in order to do this, I probably have to hide.
So this one would be trickier because it's not, the one that Mrs. Ivywood had was in her hand. This is something that is like, it's a choker. So it's in part of a, like a set of some kind or some kind of piece of jewelry. So if you see, why don't you give us, okay, so I'm not concerned about you fitting through the things. It's really a matter of trying to get there without being noticed. So let's set the...
I try and assist with this by stomping down the middle of the carriage to go and pick the tickets up of Golag.
Sure.
And giving my usual sort of stumbling self, knocking a few elbows on the way past and reaching over.
Why don't you give us, Dr. Earthsprung, it sounds like intimidation.
Okay.
Because you're just trying to, use your presence. DC will be 20 to give a +2. Okay. You want to spend your hero point?
Yeah, I'm going to have another go at that, I think.
That was a 9. Oh, close. Okay. So you're stomping along, and then Basil, at that, you sort of duck down. Let me just set the difficulty here. So it'll be... This give me a 23 for...
Yeah, well... Ooh.
Yeah. So if there's anything else you can think of that would... like, to get away to sort of sneak past the other people in the cabin. It's not quite that hard. So like I'm gonna read whatever you end up with to tell you who notices you, because like to get past just like the average Joe on the train, that's only going to be a 19.
Okay.
And the only reason is because it's it's daytime, it's the lighted car, so like
I see.
For you to make your way through is just going to be tricky.
Yeah.
But not impossible though.
Yeah. As you keep saying, that's what 20 on the dice are for.
That's why we got 20s on those dice.
Yeah. I just try. Come on. What could happen?
Nice! Look at that!
How about that?
Beautiful. All right, so you disappeared down. You walk up. The gentleman, the conductor, hands you the 2 tickets, Dr. Ersprung, and out of the corner of your eye, you see, this furred thing in a coat zip across the aisle. And Sally, even you don't notice anything, underneath your feet until Basil taps you on the ankle of like, how the fuck did you get down there?
And is it possible that so if once Golag sees her glance, and Golag actually had this in mind, Sean had this in mind, that when I was buying tickets for everybody, I knew like the jig was up, that I'm basically pointing out everyone, So once he sees her like glance, Golag would like to stand up and because now he knows there's no point in the in the deception of them back there or whatever. He stands up and he goes, "Okay, does everyone okay?" I mean, so he's creating his own distraction. He's trying to create his own distraction because he wants to get away from her just from turning away, and he would like to cast, if possible, Mage Hand.
Okay, what are the? Let's see here. Mage Hand has a somatic and a verbal component. That means you're going to be doing magical gestures and saying magical words. So
yep, that's why I'm trying to. So I'm going to turn around and he's going to try it. He's going to try
unfortunately, there's really not. If anyone's familiar with this whatsoever, they're going to see what magic stuff is. Like, it's not something you can conceal.
Okay.
There are talents you can get that can help you conceal that stuff to do more.
Yeah.
But it's just that. It's sort of like, like when a kid tries to take a family car, if you're starting the car, like that's how you start the car, so it's going to make noise and whatever else. You can't get around that part of the process. There are ways to, like, tricks and stuff like that you can learn at what you could get with your feet by, like, rolling the car to the driveway and whatnot. You're at the point right now, though, where you need to start the car. So if you make this gesture, it's going to be obvious what's happening. And then what is it you're trying to do, though? If you don't care about casting them noticing.
Well, I wasn't going to care about anyone but her noticing. But that may be impossible. It was just an idea.
Yeah.
I wanted to.
Yeah, unfortunately, that'll be completely impossible.
Okay. So he doesn't do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Knowing that,
All right.
He just lets the thing play out.
Okay. So then with that paint, she stands. I think she stands up and says to the conductor, "I'm sorry, Sir Isolde, I need to. I'm feeling poorly. Is there a space I could?" And he says, "Oh, of course, madam." The conductor says, "Excuse me, sir." You may recall, this is the tall, thin, I think the toffee-nosed might be the British way of describing this guy, and he is he has seen the state of your wardrobe, so setting aside your ancestry, he may also be casting aspersions on your station, given that you arrived in public dressed the way you are. So he gestures for you to move. Basil, you are positioned sort of underneath the seat at this point. What do you do, Golag?
Golag, I think first of all, he's not really, in as much as he was feeling very self-conscious, he's not used to have his station being questioned. He's got a little bit of his father's fieriness. I think he's, he probably, I beg your pardon, sir. And, I mean, he'll probably move, but it'll be harumphing. And he also can't help but spare an eye roll towards her sudden vapors, which I think is the proper word in this case. He's like, oh my God. He stands up like, are you serious? But he's not going to quite call her out. So he's harumphing. He stands up, he starts harumphing.
Yeah.
And,
So the conductor sort of, once she gets, steps out from the seat, he gestures her further up the car. He says, come, madam, this way. You'll find a better company for you. And Basil, what were you thinking of doing?
Yeah, if possible. I mean, if he just, I don't know, points her to it, or maybe she's a little bit distracted, so I could slip out under the seat and just try to, I don't know, lose her.
Yeah, so you're 3 feet tall. You're on a train. You've done an amazing job of remaining hidden, but I don't think, short of an actual grappling thing or some way of jumping up, it's a choker. So you're going to have some kind of way of getting up to her height in order to get this thing loose, even if that's possible.
Yeah, I think we
you're still hidden though. You're still completely hidden, so you can kind of seat to seat to seat as you until you choose to reveal yourself.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but I think we missed our window of opportunity here. So yeah. So I will just let her move, and then maybe try to move a little bit closer. But then I don't know.
Okay.
Hope for Adam to do something, or Sally.
Okay. So she moves to the front of the car, and she's let into some, there's a little conductor's room that they use, and he sets her in there. And then he comes back to finish his run, of collecting the tickets from everything. And you can tell, he makes a point of holding his eyes on you, Golag, as he walks past, and then collects tickets from everyone else. Once again, he really feels like he's got his place in the social order, and he feels like it's a little above you at this point.
Yeah, instinctively, I'm returning the gaze. I'm memorizing his face for later addressing. You can't help it. This is an outrage. I mean, I'm missing a button from my vest. For God's sake, man! You've never popped a button before. Achievement, Christmas.
Sir, you have roses in your hair. And carries on. So, Basil is still concealed underneath the seat. Dr. Ersprong has taken a seat back behind and or at the back of the car, and Sally is sitting behind Golag at this point. So what do you guys... You do have an opportunity, absent Dr. Ersprong, I suppose, to have a fairly quiet conversation. This car, unlike, say, the kind of working class or coach version, is a fairly quiet chamber. There still are on this train dining cars, and there's the luggage and whatnot, and postage that'll be further back. What are you guys thinking?
I think I will quickly go down the carriage so that I get on the other side of the conductor's cabin, as it were.
Okay.
And be peering out the windows in a sort of touristic way.
Okay.
Just to make sure she can't scuttle further down the train.
You got it. Okay.
I mean, I think I turned to say something to Sally, and Sally, kind of beelines, and I'm like, well, thank God someone knows what to do. And I'm like, he's harumphing and, still cursing about under his breath at the conductor. And he, I think he momentarily thinks of casting Mage Hand now, but he's like, oh, the moment's passed. And he's looking around how to be useful now. He's like, where's, and he's looking, so I guess he obviously sees Dr. Ersprung, right? He's hard to miss.
Yeah, and where the hell's Basil? He was there a moment ago.
I mean, I think he's probably looking around, he's taking inventory. He doesn't know what to do, so he's taking inventory, and he's like, where's the small? So he's looking around. And he probably tries to catch Sally's eye because he's feeling useless, which he hates.
Yeah.
And and if he catches Sally's eye, I assume so. The woman obviously is out of sight of.
Odyssey,
Golad,
yeah,
right?
she's in, but she still is in on this, as far as you know, on this in this car.
So he looks at Sally with a a lost look of just kind of like what because she seems to have an idea or something, and he doesn't have any, and he's looking, he can't find even his whole the whole party. So he's like, what's going on? What? Oh, he probably gives that look to Dr. Ersprung too. Like, yeah, where's you can see that he's looking for the mouse.
He made a little mouse face.
Yeah. Does Dr. Ersprung react to his shruggery?
No, he probably won't, because he won't want to give away his sort of hiding, and he's not very good at being subtle, so he'll probably just sort of try and ignore that altogether.
Papers back up
which
again.
is just going to make Golag more like, like I can't get any help here. Like,
So Basil, you can hear him mutter out loud, I just can't get good help.
Yeah, maybe I can tap him on the leg and just.
And you look down, and there's a little tail that sticks out and it ducks underneath, so you know precisely where Basil is.
Okay, so he's like, okay, well, one mystery solved. I can check some box somewhere on this page, and then probably puts it all together. Like, oh, too bad she's not still sitting here. And with seeing that, and I think he sits back down. He sits down. He was standing, I think. And he sits back down and puts his kind of hand in his chin and starts talking quietly, with the presumption that Basil can hear him.
Okay.
And says, "So, what do you think? She seems to be. Did you say, Kevin, she's still in the car but out of sight, or?" As
far as you know, she's still in the car. She's just in. There's like a tiny little to call it an office is generous. It's a closet that happens to have a chair in it, where they would keep fees or whatever else and other things relating that the conductors would need. Unused tickets and whatnot. So she is sitting in that thing, but it is part of the first class car.
Well, I believe that Ms. Dumer is trying to keep an eye on the area that she went to, claiming vapors. It's unreal. But I don't know. I don't know about your ability to sneak in where she is now, I'm afraid.
So where's the conductor now?
Continuing to make his way down the car to collect the last of the tickets.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe I whisper back. I think that's Beatrice Ironwood. We should, if possible, we should remove the jewel from her. I hope that this charm will be broken then.
Oh, indeed, I'm right with you, Basil. I'm right with you. I was trying to figure that out myself when she claimed to be suffering from her, what have you.
Quick question: do I guess that she knows that I'm part of the group? I know she knows about Basil and Adam because Golag sort of highlighted, but I paid with my own money, and I wasn't sitting next to him.
Let's just do this. Why don't you give us a stealth check? Let's see how inconspicuous you were. You want to spend a hero point?
Oh, yes.
It is noon,
very
so
disappointing.
Everybody gets a hero point as well. 20. Okay. As far as you can tell, she didn't. When when Golag gestured back, you sort of leaned, down just enough so that she didn't seem to notice you. And you did pay yourself, as you said. You paid yourself, so.
So I shall tap on the door of the little cabin.
Okay. So you rap on the door and says, "Just another moment, sir."
I'll say, "Oh, but I saw that how that beast accosted you. Are you okay?"
Thank you, ma'am. I am fine. Thank you.
It was shocking, I have to say. I do. Can I nudge the door open? Presumably it's not locked.
It is actually locked. Conductor's car.
Oh.
Yeah, is. It's not unusual for the conductor to avoid people stealing tickets and things like that. Does need to be locked. Do you have training in thievery? Can't remember.
No, I don't think so. Let me just check.
Okay.
No, I don't.
Don't. Okay. So you tested and it's locked, but I mean, I know you've seen some of your colleagues work wonders with locks. And you're actually aware of where, I believe, Basil, you're trained in thievery, aren't you?
Yeah. I think if I see her doing that, I would just come up from below and just
scutter forward. Yeah, I mean, Sally knows where you are as well, too, so she may, crouch down and kind of like, come here, and the, I think what we see is the conductor, looks, so yes, Golag will be trained in it as well. I think the conductor, starts making his way back, and then he hears Adam kind of go, turns back, and he turns around again, and suddenly Basil is there. And I think, sir, I did not see you there.
Yeah, I'm rather short. I'm sorry. I just get overlooked so much.
The mistake was mine. The mistake was all mine, sir. And he kind of gives you an up and down, and he's trying to remember tickets.
Yeah. I'm with the big one over there.
Okay.
I pointed at him.
He looks down. So then he makes his way back down to Adam. So you have your free and clear way of accessing the conductor's room then.
Okay.
I'll make sure it takes me a long time to find those tickets. Awkwardly checking 16 different pockets, because he will have that many pockets as well. So it will be the last one.
Okay, so you start making your way down. Basil, you make your way up to the lock. Of course, while you may not have your purse on you, I'm assuming you've got your thieves' tools on you.
I think, I maybe slept with them just in case, because...
Yeah. Well, I mean, you were sleeping kind of in your clothes because you were up late last night with the kids anyway, so it's not unreasonable to think you've got that on you. So, Basil, why don't you give us let's have Dr. Ersprung, why don't you give us a diplomacy check to distract this guy. Diplomacy or deception, nat 20. You will have as much time as you want, Basil. You guys are going to be distracted. So he's like, I believe it's in here. No. In here. No. No. And this goes on
back to the same ones as well. Did I check this one?
Exactly. And the guy's either too polite or too afraid to say anything. So he's just standing there like, no, sir, please take your time.
And he will.
Yeah. So then, Basil, you're able to get your thieves' tools out. Sally, I'm assuming you're standing in such a way so that the first-class passengers cannot see the what's about to happen. And Basil, why don't you give us a thievery check?
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this. Are you trying to be... The natural way of picking the lock is going to be you're going to hear the lock catch. Just like, if you used a key in it. What you can do, though, is try and control the falling of the tumblers so that it falls silently. The difference would be if you're rolling just to open this lock, that's only going to be a 14. If you're trying to do it without it making noise, that's going to be a 19. So I'll let you choose which one you want to roll against.
Okay. My thing would be I would just open the lock, but not completely the door. So just not so that we could open it in the next thing. So not to enter.
So you don't care if she hears the lock catch?
Yeah, I think it's just Sally will enter anyway. So yeah. Okay, so I will try to open the lock. And I did it.
Nice. Okay. And you hear from within Just one more moment, sir. And Sally, what are you doing?
And I will just push the door up and say, "Oh, don't worry, dear. There's no."
So she looks up it's again the woman in what do you call it? In black. She has her gloves in one hand. She has her hand up to the gem, up to her throat, and it happens to be on the choker as well too. But she looks up, and the expression that she first gives is terrifying fury. Like her face is twisted in anger at you throwing the door open. And then she very quickly tries to collect herself and says, "Oh, madam, I did say I was fine. Please." And then she sees Basil and looks, and you guys
you really shouldn't worry, my dear. I realize how shocking that has been, so you shouldn't be trying to hide yourself away like this. That oaf deserves everything he got from the conductor.
She looks, her eyes narrow now that she's got a look at you, and sees Basil. And there is, you can see, literally a inky shadow that runs across both of her eyes. A smile goes across her face. And then she just screams. And all of you got, so those of you, Dr. Ersprong, Golag, Dr. Ersprong is on the 12th pocket, and he did not know he had as many pockets in his, really this one, perhaps if I turn this, that was the other coat. I got the other coat. It was gifted to me by a patient that had and then there's this scream that cries out, and everyone's attention is in the front. The conductor turns, and he's about to make his way up. Guys, what are you doing for this round? We'll treat this in a round-for-round basis at this point. So she has got the attention of the conductor. What do you guys want to do?
I'll try. I don't think it'll work, but I'll finally produce the tickets. And I go, aha! And I'll try and just draw his attention just for another few seconds.
Sure. Let's set that one at. I think that's going to be hard as well, too. I think that'll be a 19 and I think that's either deception or diplomacy.
Yeah, I'll go for deception. I think it's probably seems appropriate.
Nat 1.
I think I might try that again.
Yeah, you want to spend a hero point? Okay.
Yeah, it's just I can't have that.
Nat 20, look at that. Running the fucking ends. Nice.
From 1 to 20.
So he turns and whatever else this guy may be, he is a slave to his job. So he dutifully, he looks up at the screen, and then his hands go to the little clicker thing, and immediately is taking it from you and doing it as if it was there wasn't someone screaming their bloody head off at the start of the train. But he's completely distracted for this round. Moving up the train, Golag.
So Golag was he had balled up his ticket tightly, as tightly as he could, going to his orcish little boy days, and was considering using a telekinetic projectile on the back of this conductor's head with his ticket, but then realized that Dr. Ersprung had it all buttoned up over there. Yeah. He's like, I suppose I should, he kind of breaks from his reverie of a 10-year-old orc, and so I guess I should be useful. And so he had been. When all this started, he had put the ticket away and had at least turned to go try to be useful since Sally had disappeared. And I'm sure he probably saw Basil, stride down there too. So his intention before all this was to go. He was heading that way.
Okay. So I think then let's say at the end of the run, you've got yourself up, you've moved yourself forward. So you're with Sally and Basil sort of standing outside this small little thing. Sally and Basil, what are you guys intending on doing? She's screaming her bloody head off.
I will lash out with a flurry of blows using Stunning Fist.
Okay. Let's try and knock her unconscious. Why don't you click on Stunning Fist? Let's see how that works. Stunning Fist, okay. If either hits and deals damage, it must succeed at a Fortitude save against your class DC or be stunned. So you're level 2. Your Dex bonus is a 4. I think is that right?
Yeah, I think my class.
4. So I think its DC is 18.
Bonus,
I believe.
My class DC is 18.
18.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Then go ahead and grab my. Go ahead and make your attack roll. I will counter as flat-footed because I don't think she was expecting to get punched in the face. So I'll treat her AC as 2 lower.
I need to take. Yep.
Okay. I believe that is a hit. So then I need to make a Fortitude save. So let me just find out what my Fortitude save is. There we go. You know, I forgot to grab my cards today. What the what? I moved them all into the room here and then proceeded to forget to grab them. Ooh. Madison. All right. Fortitude is not one of her stronger saves, I will tell you that.
Well, that's a pity.
Yeah. All right, so it's DC 18. Here we go. Fortitude save. Oh, actually, it's not bad. Plus 8. Okay, so I'm rolling chat. Roll 1d20 plus 8, so I need an 18. So I need 55% chance of 22. So you hit her. Then, so Basil, that's only. Do you want to keep hitting her? She didn't seem to be stunned by that one.
Well, in for a penny, in for a pound.
Not 20. Oh my god! Wham! Now I think. Oh no, that does. Yeah, 1d8 is right. Okay, so that's 7. Oh no, wait. Oh, you roll a nat 1 on your critical damage. So 4 points damage, and that was 3 points damage from the first one. All right, so she's. You still have 2 more actions for this round, if you like.
Right. I will pull the hanky from my sleeve, and I'll stuff it in her mouth. Can I?
Yeah, so that'll be athletics check, but you're going to get minus 10 because this is your that is technically an attack.
Yep. Should have led with that.
Okay. The 5. Okay. So 5 is you're in and you're sort of like engaged with her and trying to jam something into her mouth. Basil. So the 2 ladies are now occupying the room here, grappling with one another. What are you planning on doing?
Okay. Just to make things more complicated, can I get in and grab her leg and try to just make her trip?
I don't.
Yeah, if it's too close,
it's because of the size of the thing. I don't know if you are small. That's the only reason I'm given pause on it. I think what I'll do is I'll just give you a minus 2 to try to like be reaching in to try and get it. So So okay. Go ahead. This will be an athletics check then for you to try and grab her.
Yeah, it's not my strong suit, but whatever. So,
okay.
No. And
okay. I mean, you do have 2 hero points if you want to spend.
Yeah, I can re-roll. Yeah, let's do this again. But I don't think. No.
No. So close to a crit fail, dude. Yeah. I will grab that before I forget.
So then I would just close the door, maybe.
Okay. I think for closing the door, let's see here. Like she's still screaming this whole time because neither of you guys have been able to get her. Let's just let's make it a athletics check at. I think just at 10 to try and like close the door.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. No, it didn't. So no.
So you're trying to pull the door forward, and then like this foot kicks out and knocks you outside the door, and you're like, "Come on!" You still have one more action.
Yeah, that's a a very strong case of hysteria.
No one worry, I'm a doctor.
Yeah, probably I would say we need a doctor over here. A doctor. Is there
right.
a doctor on the train?
Okay. Once again, Dr. Golag is showing up. Although, I mean, it gives you your entrance for Dr. Ursprung, I suppose, as well. All right, so then on her turn. So her, once again, Sally, you're in I think, closest to her on this. And there is that that look of... grab my... No? Rather than looking it up, I'll just grab the card. Okay. There you go. There's a flash of black that goes across her eyes, and she speaks a couple of... neither of you guys have reactions, so you can't get tax opportunity on her. She's casting a spell. And let's see here. What is your... both Sally and Basil, would you kind of give us reflex saves? Okay, nice, Basil. Nicely done. Not a success. Sally, you want to spend a hero point to reroll that?
Yeah, let's give it another go.
Nice. Okay, so both of those succeeded. So you take half this damage. You guys each take 6 points of damage as this black lightning sort of arcs out and cuts through the two of you. And then she, as her last action, will... Oh, boy. She's going to try and shove past you. So this will be... What is your fortitude, Sally?
EA?
The fortitude... no, wait, what's the bonus?
Oh. 8.
8.
So it was
8. E8. I'm sorry, I heard EA. Okay, so then 8. So 18 is the difficulty class of this attempt. She's not very strong, so... Not a great chance. That is enough of a success. So she pushes past you and kind of stumbles into the hallway in time to see Golag on the left side, and Basil, you're sort of pushed a bit out of the way too. She's still screaming as well, and the attention of the entire train is on you guys at this point, and she's screaming out, "Help me! They're attacking me!" Let's actually roll initiative this time. So let me get... Oh, wrong dice. Wrong thing. Oh, this is interesting. My dice roller came up behind all of your cameras.
Oh.
Let me go. So I couldn't access it. Remember to click on your token, and then...
Oh, shit. Sorry.
hold on here. So add these in here. And there you go. You guys can just enter the numbers for them now. I just put it in there. Let me roll for her. Let's see here. Do I have a lady in black? Probably. I will just use the image of... oh, that'll work. There we go. Let's see how she does. Okay. Boy, this is why I should really make sure to get my cards out. It is a lot less intrusive than the frickin' book. Okay. She's rolled terribly for initiative. So, Let's go down here. Basil, let me just add quickly a health bar for her so you guys could track how beaten up she is. There we go. And there you are. That's how beaten she is thus far. All right, Basil, you're up first. 3 actions. What would you like to do? You're on one side of her. Golag is on the other side of her. She'd need to push past one of you guys in order to get away, and she is screaming her bloody head off right now.
Yeah, I would say I devise a strategy to aid myself and Golag. In somehow making her not escape. So let me put it this way.
Okay.
So finding a weak spot. So that's basically just rolling 1d20 and then seeing whether this does anything.
13.
I think that's maybe good enough.
Okay.
I don't know.
What are you thinking of doing here?
Yeah, I would. I mean, I can't really hit her or strike her or something. I just would like to block her way in some capacity so she can't move past me.
So, what you could do is to, if you're not going to actually lay hands on her, what you could do is spend 2 actions to bank 1, bull rush. Or 1 shove, like an athletics attack. That would prevent her from getting past.
Or just open the door, maybe. I don't know.
Or shove is called. It's not called bull rush anymore.
Yeah.
You still would have 1 more action, so yeah, you could open the door between this and the next car as well if you want.
Yeah. So no, I just open a cabin door, but I don't know if it goes maybe into the cabin and not outside onto the.
From
floor.
here, you're right at the front of the car right now. So the door that opens, it's the passageway, between 2 cars.
Then I would just try to do an intimidation glare, so I could just look very angrily and then.
So that's a demoralize. Why don't you give us an intimidation check?
Yeah. And I think that I have the proficiency to do that with a mere glare. That means I don't have to speak.
Okay, nice.
And just
14. Okay, so you're trying to be as scary as you can, and you sort of position yourself like, come on. You are 3 feet tall, so there is limits to how intimidating one can be. You could spend a hero point and re-roll that if you like.
Yeah. Come on, I just do that. And Golag, she is she is flat-footed against you. Now that's part of the thing I did.
Well, you haven't succeeded yet, though.
I don't think I need to succeed, but yeah, okay.
Which ability is it? I mean, you're flanking her, so if there's an attack that's coming, then.
That would be the strategy, devise a strategy, this common strategy. But nevertheless. I just wrote this 19. I'm sorry.
19, okay. 19 is still not quite good enough for her. She is quite willful. All right, then, so that's Basil. Basil's ready to get in on this girl. Why don't you click on the strategy as well, too, just so I don't want to misinterpret and take away an advantage.
Yeah, no, I think it's maybe connected. So if I do the bull rush, then
as we established before we started, I can run a game for 6 years and still not remember a basic rule in it. So let's see here.
So and this is shared. So this is the other one.
When you hit with an attack, so that won't trigger until your readied action goes off. But okay. Dr. Earthsprung, someone has called for a doctor.
Someone needs a doctor. So I shall spring to my feet, make sure I get in front of the conductor, because I assume he's listening to the noise and he looks like he's making his way down a train. And then I shall very slowly go down
Okay.
towards the train, and I'll be just sort of pulling my way between and sort of making out even bigger than I am, and sort of squeezing and making more of an effort than it should take to get down the train to just hold him back.
Do you wish to take all 3 actions to get yourself down to the end to prevent?
I basically want to keep him behind me to give the other 3 more chance to do whatever they're doing. I can't quite make out what they're doing from here.
Are you saying anything about being a doctor?
Yeah, I'm going to say it sounds like someone needs a doctor.
Okay.
I'll be,
so why don't you spend one of the actions to give us a either a diplomacy or an intimidation check, depending on how you're communicating it, so that, I mean, in a first-class car, there's a chance that there may be another physician on board.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try. Yeah, I mean, they're both the same.
Bystander apathy being what it is, I think if some other doctor sees someone else jump in, they'll be like, okay, he's got it.
Yeah, I'll try the intimidation route, I think.
Okay.
That seems more appropriate.
20. We see very briefly this young couple, and she turns, Gregory, this is your chance. And you hear from the back of the car, I'm a doctor. And he says, he's got it, and looks down. She looks, as will be a lifetime of this, married to this fellow. She is quite disappointed in Gregory.
Scorn.
Yeah.
And I'll take a little bit of time just to stop when I get to their seats and just sort of look at him just to delay it even further.
He looks up at you and then very quickly, right out the window again. She looks at you with a withering glare, but that's nothing compared to what she gives Gregory. So you make your way to the front of the train. Then it is her turn. And she is... screams, get off of me! And then she is going to try and push past you, Basil. What is your athletics bonus?
0, I suppose.
Oh, it's 0 in total?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. So you get yourself in a really good position. You're like, yeah! And then she immediately bowls you over as she pushes past you, because her fortitude is it's an 18. You needed to be able to succeed in that.
I'm just curious now. So the idea that I would just try to rush her, this is maybe she overcame that already with it? Yeah,
that's what it is. Is that you're like because what I assumed is that if she tries to get past you, that's when you were going to try and shove her to stop her from moving. So what I've done is I've applied your 13 to your attack to your athletics, and then that's just less than her fortitude. So that's why she's able to push past you. That makes sense.
Yeah. She's very strong.
Okay.
She is strong.
Well, this tiny little rat man's like, she's so powerful. Oh my god! Like a good-sized collie could have done the same thing to him. So, she pushes past. She uses one action to throw the door between the cars, and you hear the cars are rattling outside, and then. She gestures. Let me make sure this is... Hold on. Let me not cheat. Madison, quit cheating. Let me see if this is an action or if it's 2 actions. Hold on. This is... I think it's 1. It's 1. Guys, it says right here, it's 1. Ooh. She gestures. There is a swirl of smoke, and she launches up. And seems to disappear from view.
Who sees that? Does everyone?
Everyone sees that. I mean, like, you guys were all making your way to the front of the train. What she's done is she's seen you guys coming. She's screaming for help. Turned, and Basil's like, "I got her! Oh, I don't got her!" And then she throws the door open as one action, and then casts something to propel herself up. Whether that's she's flying or she's jumped or what, like, you will have to get a little closer to see. But Ms. Dumer, it is now your turn. So the door is open. You can hear the sound of the train outside, the whistling of the air coming in.
And I will leap into the doorway and then try and scuttle up on top of the train.
Easily.
With my outstanding acrobatics.
Yeah, so let's see here. I think you actually might be able to... Because you can see just the wisp of her like the hem of her dress. She's on the roof. She's propelled herself up onto the roof somehow. So let's see here. A high jump is... On a success, you... where is it here? It's a DC 30.
Oof.
Well, the thing is that if you fail, you leap normally. This is just to add extra stuff. A high jump is always 10 feet. So you could spend one action to run out onto the thing, a second action to leap and pull yourself up, and still have one more to go.
That's what we'll go for then.
Okay. So Sally spends no, spares no. What's the word I'm looking at? It has no delay. This is truly the artful narration you guys show up for this campaign. Yeah. You run over, you spring up, you pull yourself up, Sally. You still have one more action. She's about 10 feet away from you right now.
And I will close the gap with her. So presumably that pretty much uses up my round, right?
It does. You can with your fist if you do want to hit her.
Oh yes, I've got my.
You've got your mechano fists, whatever.
Yeah, but that's lethal. So
there isn't a stun setting on a chunk of iron. That is true. I put this hammer on stun.
I may stun her permanently.
I mean, you do have your stunning fist though. You haven't used that this round. She is on top of the train, though, so stunning someone on top of the train, there may be consequences. What do you think?
Let me chase after her.
Okay.
And just say, for heaven's sake, it's not worth your life for this, surely.
Okay. So you go racing over behind her. I just want to check on you. I'm checking with my fist.
Are you okay, my dear?
So go you've run up here like I could be, and then one of the ladies has raced out and then kind of sprung herself up, leaving this cloud of smoke behind. Then Sally, without a second's delay, races out, springs up, and disappears onto the roof of the next car ahead.
I'm gonna help her even if it kills her.
Mm-hmm. Golag, what are you doing?
I mean, I think Golag rubs the bridge of his orc nose for a moment. Like he's been a day late and $1 short this whole
climbing.
Time. Like,
why is it always climbing?
I mean, he just got there. He's ready to stride into the room and do something. It's like, oh my God! Like just can't catch a break today. And so, and he, he's thinking about following Ms. Dumir, and he's like, oh, and he with great regret starts like putting. I mean, did she go out a window? Where did she go?
No, she just ran. So you picture this is like Old West style because it's a 19th century style car. The door was thrown open. There's that like little walkway between the two where you can hear the train moving. She has leapt up onto the roof to follow where this lady went, Miss Ivywood.
Yeah, he follows. He goes into that door and pulls up a trouser and a trouser leg and puts it up on whatever. Tries to find a way up to Okay,
so I think it'd only be 2 actions. You still, as you pull yourself up, you can see Sally has caught up. The two of them are sort of seemingly running away about 10 feet down the top of this train. The wind is howling by. You can see the scenic Paridar countryside is beginning to zip past. You still have one more action. What would you like to do?
Oh, let me check the range on this. I've got a thought. Are they within 30 feet?
One thing to bear in mind is your how many actions you have. Just remember the...
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, they're definitely within 30 feet, 10 feet away.
As his head, you tell me if this is true, but as his head, if he's able to get his head popped above, the roof, the ceiling, he stretches out like, he's just trying to be useful. My God, all day. And so he hurls a bit of, he takes a piece of his shadow, in essence, and throws it out there to wrap hopefully across her face.
Yeah. Let me I need to make a save here. So that is, let's see here, plus, her save's pretty good. Okay, so I need a 16 here. Oh, I failed. So she screams as her eyes are shrouded in darkness. She's gonna have to make a reflex save at the start of her next turn to avoid tumbling. Ms. Dumare, you are right there, so you might be able to react to that in the event that happens. But Basil, you are up next. Now, I said that you were knocked down. You're not knocked prone by this, so you were sort of staggered back. What do you want to do? You have 3 actions.
I think I'm pretty useless in a fight without a weapon. Yeah, and she is so powerful. Come on. Yeah.
If it makes things easier, let's do this first. We're past 12:30. Everyone gets a hero point.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I think I would just I would just let Adam pass and then maybe say something witty. No, I wait for Adam to catch up. So I make room and let Adam.
Do you want to
pass.
take a turn after Adam then?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let me move you down the initiative here. Dr. Ersprung, you're up next. What are you doing?
Yeah, I've seen this as I've travelled down. Yeah. Okay. How long will it take me to get onto the roof?
Same thing. I think it's 2 actions to get out there and to start pulling yourself up, and then you have 1 more action to go.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, I'll climb up onto the roof and look at the scene, and then just go and join the others in sort of melee range, as it were.
Okay, so you pull yourself up and then race over to where Sally is. Basil, Dr. Ersprung has joined the others on the roof. Everyone's going roof-bound. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I would say I would just go. So if I understand correctly, there is a car in front of our car.
There's a car in front of you. There's another first-class car. And then so there's a first-class car, then there is like a baggage kind of thing, and then there is the coal car, and then there is the engine.
Yeah, okay. So I would just go into the other car.
Okay. So if you throw that door open. Okay. How far down the car do you want to go? You want to spend are you racing your way down?
No, I would just go a little bit to see where they might be. So maybe I hear something.
Okay, sure, yeah. Why don't you give us, a seek. So you're moving down and you're listening up. Why don't you give us a perception check? This is only going to be a DC 10 to hear. Now, Ms. Dumare's footsteps are quite hard to hear. She is quite light of step. The Ms. Ivywood likely is quiet as well. Dr. Ersprung has a very pronounced gait.
I think it'd probably be more the dents in the ceiling that will be giving it
Dust
away.
is coming down with each step. Okay, then it is her turn. All right, so first thing I need to do is a reflex save. Let me go. So 1d20 plus reflex is 9. All right, and I think for her this will be a 14. Let's see. Oh no! So she, staggering around, her foot trips on something. She tumbles, and she's about to go off the side.
I'm going to use my little old acrobatics to
try and grab her. So
grab
go ahead.
her and throw her back.
So here's what this is going to be: is there is a let me double check this here. There is like a grab a ledge, action like a save in this. Like a last chance to avoid falling off of something dangerous. Falling damage in PF2 is no joke. Here, grab an edge for 72. What I'll let you do is give us an acrobatics check against DC 20. If you're successful, you'll have aided her. DC's only 15.
Oh!
Well, that was 2 rolls. So, I mean, you double rolled by accident there. It rolled 14 out.
No, to be fair, that was me going straight for the hero point. I have to be honest.
Oh, was it? Oh, no. So you shove her. Instead of grabbing her, you sort of shove her. And oh man,
It looks like Ms. Dumir has lost her temper as she hurls this woman off the
You
train.
really don't like her, does she?
Just hurled her. Did she raise her over her head too before she cast
a
her into the
wrestling
darkness?
all right.
Did you say falling damage is no joke?
Yeah, there's no joke in this.
Dear
speed of train.
Dear heavens, Ms. Dumir. Dear heavens.
Okay. All right. So this is going to be a 14, but because of that, I'm going to jack it up to a 19 because of the difficulty. Still not. It's not undoable for her. Yes, it is. So she was flying off the side. Basil, you're racing along. You hear a scream. You look out the window and you see this very briefly a black form fall off the side of the train and then very quickly get around behind. I think with the nat 1, it has the appearance that Sally may have run up and like thrown her off the train.
But not over her head.
I mean, like, that's only Dr. Earthstrong and Golag who would see this. So, like, there's not going to be any accusations. But you guys may think, like, what are you doing?
I mean, I had this, different genre, but I had this picture of, Vader with Palpatine over his head, cast him into
The black lightning coming out of Miss Ivywood's fingers.
right.
So she's gone. We can drop out of the strict initiative order right now. So she's gone flying off of the train. You guys all have a moment to sort of, like, Sally turns around. You don't need to make a roll. Tell me if I've got this wrong, James, but I think the look on her face, it tells you, like, she didn't mean to do that.
Very much.
Okay.
Oh.
So then, what happens next, guys?
I mean, Golag, I think, comes up behind and puts a hand on Ms. Dumir's shoulder and goes, "Good heavens, Ms. Dumir," and is looking over the side like probably everyone else is going,
Yeah.
Well.
Well, that plan didn't entirely come together.
How fast is this train going then? Is that instant death?
Well, she didn't fall under the train. She fell off the side. No, it's definitely a pot. I mean, if one of you guys fell off the side, you would definitely take some damage and whatnot. But it's not necessarily. It's not an automatic lethality. Plus, she seemed pretty sturdy. You can think in terms of like the durability of these characters, in terms of their narrative value. That's sort of how the game. Okay. That's how you understand like different levels. She was taking a pretty good beating from Ms. Dumir, so
Okay. Well, I shall start to run down the train, and
now if Gregory went over the side, I mean, like that's
yeah,
The gutless doctor.
yeah.
I should say we need to get back in the coach or the carriage and stop the train. She may still be alive. And I'll start running down the roof,
Okay.
and climbing back down.
So Basil, you're sort of like running along, and you hear everything. They're running in one direction. Then you see like the dust is coming down back in the direction you came now.
If I see that everyone is has made it back from the roof, I would just pull the emergency brake.
Okay. So you turn. Well, I think it hasn't yet. All you've seen is that the footsteps that were going across the train, they seem to be heading back in the other direction now.
So I would just look. I would not pull the brake unless I knew that everyone was from the roof.
What about Ms. Dumir and Golag? What are you guys doing?
I mean, I think that Golag had kind of given up on it until Dr. Earthsprung said, "We have to stop the train," and it's like, "Oh, okay." And then Golag's back in the hunt. I suppose he goes, "Well, all right,"
okay,
and makes his way. Yeah, makes his way. He climbs back. He's not really too happy about being on top of the train anyway. He climbs back down into the safe confines of where everyone's supposed to be in his mind, inside the train. And so he's going back down.
So it takes a couple, maybe about 2 minutes or so for everyone to sort of make their way down and safely put themselves down. By safely, I mean not making any dice rolls. And Basil, I think the first one down sounds like would be Dr. Earthsprung. He was the one that first, as it were, Earthsprung into action. And once everyone is down, Basil is at the ready to pull the lever. That is done, and then this thing screeches to a halt. The conductor is still trying to figure out what is going on here. So he sort of like, I think, comes up to you guys and like, look, where is she? Where's that woman gone? What has happened? And then we hear the screeching of the train tires. He sort of falls forward into Dr. Earthsprung.
Jump from the train.
Yeah, Golag says, "Man overboard, man overboard." You know, in the familiar phrase.
Yeah. Why don't you give us a deception check against this guy? Okay. She did seem quite distressed, and I mean, he 100% buys that. Like, he misread this situation completely. This was clearly a woman in distress, who, so he's immediately gets himself into like work mode, and it's like, oh my goodness, we need to get search parties then. And so he turns and races back towards that Wilford Brimley looking conductor. You guys seem to have at the very least you have your whatever suspicions that may have been or they may have had with respect to your involvement in this, that is completely allayed right now. So as the thing is screeching to a halt, what are you guys thinking about doing? Yeah, or what are you guys talking about? You guys have an opportunity to discuss what to do here.
How far back? How far back is she going to be now? Traveling for
so this thing probably travels like about 40 miles an hour ish. Because trains even in this era, they're not really super quick. They're faster than like being on foot or whatnot, but they're not like
It's definitely over a mile away.
So. Yeah, because it's, if I figure 40 an hour, that means about, every 1.5 minutes you go a mile. So it would be maybe 2 miles back.
Okay.
A little more than that.
So we almost need them to sort of reverse the train up, really.
No, I think
it might take 20 minutes to get there.
Yeah.
We probably wouldn't want witnesses.
Yes, it's going to take us a while to get back there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if we're deciding that, then I'll probably even jump off before the train's properly stopped and start running.
Okay.
Golag, I mean, he'll follow the lead.
Okay. Who has training in survival? I think Golag does.
T4.
Yeah. Okay. T4. You remind me I need to do my taxes. T4 is the name of the. I'm not sure if it's the same in the States, but T4 is our record of employment.
Aha. Yeah, I don't think Golag liked it, but his father forced him into you have to know how to survive.
I think it's also to learn the shadowy secrets you've got. It required you to go into the wilds where these are ancient orcish secrets. So, all right. So Dr. Earthsprung is off, and Golag, you know that you're going to have the best chance to find if you don't find her body, you will be the one in the best position to try and find any trace of her. So I think so Golag, this will be a bit of a search here, because I mean you're not going to find her body, but let's see if you can find any trace of her. Golag, why don't we start with you? Why don't you give us a survival check? Anyone else trained in survival? No? Okay.
And I don't think my shadow can be of use here, can it? Like going up ahead, slinking in shadows, but I don't know that it would have any better chance of finding her than I would.
Think your shadow actually has certain skills it's trained in as well.
Yeah,
it should.
But I don't know that it quite hits this. If I wanted someone looked after surreptitiously, that'd be one thing. But I don't think finding her, it doesn't quite get there.
No. You mean by actually extending your senses through it?
Right. Yeah. Throw my shadow up there, something like that. But
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think
is
so.
it faster than you? I mean, maybe it can get there faster.
Only because of the slinking shadows would be the only reason it would have, if that would come into play. But I don't.
They can hide. Yeah, so it can sneak into something else's shadow. Yeah,
It's not quite right. Yeah.
No. And then what is it? Speed?
Just brainstorming.
Sure. No, it's good to do. The shadow step. It could teleport itself 30 feet.
Right. That's all I was thinking, but that's not.
Okay.
Really,
Yeah. No, it's not.
Not quite there.
Yeah. Well, and it's also if it was night, it would be better. But right, this is still quite early in the day.
Gotcha.
But I mean that helps you because it makes the difficulty for finding any trace of her a little easier. Why don't you give us a survival check, please?
All right.
And the rest of you guys can give a. He does not even need it. I'll say you can aid with perception. So Golag, it takes you, as you say, about 20 minutes to work your way back. And Golag, when you're having to work, technically in the exploration mode right now, which means you're moving a little slower as you're going along. But I'm assuming that that you're going to have to move at least a mile before you'll find any trace. So you move at a normal pace for a bit, and then you start looking around. Anna disagrees with that interpretation, but she's a fucking brutal, mean, and merciless DM. What you see is you do find both of her gloves fallen off the side of the train on a piece of like a scrub brush that's grown up around. The area immediately around the train, the tracks, is still quite clear. Like there's no, there's nothing that's grown up around it. But you find that, and then you also find that she has fallen off and has made her way off back in the direction of Paridar.
Over here! And calls everyone's attention, pointing at the gloves and the tracks.
Yeah. I think with a roll that good as well, you can find that there is, you can see there's a nasty bit of blood on the ground too. It looks like she clarked her head on something when she fell.
Well, let's and Golag quickly starts on the tracks. He's going to see what happens. Like he's going to, take it for as far as it can go. Okay. Maybe someone grabbed the gloves, and he trots off in his orc waddle in the direction of the tracks.
Sure. What are the rest of you guys doing while Golag is doing this?
I'll grab the gloves and follow him.
Okay.
No, follow him.
Okay. So the tracks lead you back to actually like a country road that's about maybe 15 minutes away, and then the tracks go along for about another half an hour, and then it appears that a carriage or something stopped and picked her up. And then it's sort of lost. Or a wagon, I guess, if it's a rural area.
Well, and Golag, comes to a sort of a fatalistic stop, looking down the road with his hands on his orc hips.
The wagon from where the direction of the hoof prints from the horse that was dragging it seems like it's likewise in the direction of Paridar. It may not be going directly to Paridar itself, but it may be going in that direction. You guys are only traveling about 20 minutes too, so you're about a quarter. Well, now you walked back a little bit, but you're about 1/3 of the way to Dunsbridge.
Well, confound it. Do we...
So you guys are all standing. There's, pasture around, or not pasture, but there's crops that have kind of grown around you guys, wheat or whatnot. Standing on this dusty, country road. It's a marked difference from the soot and smoke-filled skies of Paridar.
Do we have any ability to give chase? And he looks about to everyone, knowing he cannot...
to catch up with her, you would need to have some kind of mechanical care... Oh, wait.
Well, and also he was just wondering about everyone's magical, if
Sure.
someone has a wild card to play here, but I don't think we do. But he goes, Well, what do we do here, gentlemen, ladies? Do we wait for the next carriage? I don't know. What's our best bet on even?
You know, if you look to the right,
Yeah.
there's a small cloud of dust. It does appear like something is coming down the road. And why don't you guys each give us a perception check?
All right.
Nice. 26 from Basil. Not 20 from Golag. Both Golag and Basil, you can see it clearly coming over the horizon. It appears to be a mid-session break. So
Wow.
everyone gets a hero point. And then we'll take a 5-minute break here. We'll be back, and then I'll give you an opportunity to decide what you guys wish to do next. Also, I'll let Anna Banana out so she can stop yelling at people. So back momentarily. All right. My neighbors are having folks over for Easter, and Anna wants to greet every single one of them. All right. Just wait for... There we go. Perfect. All right, guys. So, there is nothing coming from either direction. What do you guys wish to do next? Okay, actually, you can only have a maximum of 3 hero points here, Golag.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, got to use them or lose them. So, what do you guys wish to do?
Could we spend a hero point in order to have a carriage arrive at this very moment?
Not one involving her, but I'm certainly happy to have there's like an old, you do see making its way across. It's this ancient old workhorse with an older let's say it's a dwarvish woman who's sort of leading things along. Her things, slowly makes its way up towards you. She's studying you, but she doesn't have, in spite of her gray hair, she's still got it in kind of pigtails. She got glasses that are sitting on the end of her nose. She stops this gray old pony. She looks at the 4 of you. You 4 lost, or what?
Yeah, we kind of missed our train, so... and now we want to go back to the city.
She looks left, across the fields. Looks right across the fields. I'd say you did.
Yeah.
On your way to Paridar?
Not to Paridar. I am heading into town. Might be able to arrange a trip for you from there.
Well... I suspect
Sounds like
that's
our
our
best offer.
Indeed.
Hop round back. One of you can sit up front with me. If I have too many of though, old Chester here, he gets skittish.
We don't want to upset Chester.
No, sir, you do not. You get the feeling that she's been on... There is a deep and storied history between this old dwarven lady and Chester, the horse. So one of you will be able to take a seat up front. The rest of you guys can sit with in the kind of along in the back with the hay. And you have an opportunity to, if you want to talk to each other, you can all ride in the back if you choose to. It's about a 10-minute ride into town, and then from there, you guys will be able to arrange. There probably isn't a train in from this tiny little farming community, but there is going to be some way to get yourself into Paridar itself, and you can catch a cab or something like that from wherever you're dropped off. But you guys do have an opportunity to discuss things. It probably takes you a total of about 2 hours to get yourself back to Paridar, which still is likely before noon. Because it was almost the crack of dawn when all this stuff kicked off. So what do you guys think? What do you make of what has happened? And this conversation can take place in the carriage while you're waiting for the ride into Paridar, wherever.
I mean, it was... Golag had the thought that we should check that she's not in this tiny town. She may have run into the same thing we did, and she might still be there trying to arrange a ride. So the first thing we do when we get dropped off is to quickly assess whether she's there.
Yeah,
that
sure.
would be his.
Why don't you give us so that'll be a gather information check. Why don't you, somebody can give us a diplomacy check. Who's feeling diplomatic?
One of
I
us
can give it a go.
Okay.
Given I've helped the team so much today, I'll try and help some more.
She's looking to finish her off.
She's really hunting her down.
Yeah.
Let's try that again.
There you go.
Like it.
So what you find from there's a livery locally, and I guess some lady did show up and overpaid for an old riding horse, and she made off in the direction to the we'll say like the west. It'll be towards the direction of Dunsbridge. But she definitely fits the bill.
So should we go to Dunsbridge rather than Paridar?
No.
Was Dunsbridge where the train was going?
Dunsbridge is where the train was going. It's one of the stops on the route on the train. It is also where Stoneburn Manor is.
Yeah. But as powerful as you are, Sally, and you have to be enormously powerful because this woman was powerful and you were even more powerful to throw her off the train like that, I think we would need our gear too.
Oh, one thing that can happen as well, Dr. Ersprung can certainly administer some first aid. Basil and Sally took some damage from the scorching. You guys had 2 hours, so you'll be able to make 2 rounds of first aid checks, if you like.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely
You're
worth
still
doing.
down a bit too, actually, Dr. Ersprung, from yesterday's fracas.
Okay. I shall try in screen order. So Sally first, and I'll just do DC 15.
Okay. I think so. 2d8, you're healed. 15, nicely done. Okay.
Cool.
And then I should do the same for Basil.
Keeping it interesting. You really, I know that Darren's been talking about buying as his next feat at level 3 or something that's going to guarantee an automatic 10. You're just justifying that purchase.
Yeah, because I've got +6 for medicine, so I could automatically do the lower one. Yeah.
Okay, so then 13 for Basil. Basil's back up. Do you want to treat yourself as well?
It normally doesn't go well, but I'll give it a try. That's,
okay. You want to spend a hero point on that, or
nah?
You could do one more.
More
you do have 2 hours of time to treat.
All right, I'll tinker a bit more on the second hour.
There you go.
There we go.
Okay.
That should be enough. Yep.
There you are. All right. So, what do you guys wish to do next then?
Yeah, I think we need to regroup back at headquarters, as Basil said.
You have this amazing automated car, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, have we got to the stage where this is going to be almost an outright assault on this manor place, or because it's just, the game's up a bit, isn't it?
You think she's
tomorrow? Yeah.
Sally throwing women off the top of trains.
The gauntlet has been thrown.
We went from witty repartee to throw you off of a speeding train really quickly.
Golag, puts his staff into the ground a few times. Says, "They know we mean business now." Yes, I think that's. I think you're. I think that's correct. That. The advantage of even catching up with her at this point is it's not who we thought it was, which would have been more advantageous if it was in fact Ms.
Was it Fallow?
Fallow. And we know that she's not. This Beatrice Ivywood, we know she's not cooperative. The most we could hope for is to get that jewel away from her, which is what I was thinking, prior to everything going south, and gives Ms. Demir a little corner look. But Yeah, I think you're all correct. That we probably should go back and consolidate, reset, and plan again.
So you guys arrive back at the offices of. Let me just have everybody. I think I've got everyone in the same order already, but let's see here. Shadow eliminations. I do. As you're going in, Seven and Mrs. What's her name here? Mrs. Tabine are sort of sir, and the I think as Seven is taking your coat off, Golag, he says, "Did we just have that coat brought in, sir?"
It's a rough morning, Sylvan. Let's have none of your piling on, shall we? And he just brusquely, peels off. I think he doesn't even. He just peels off whatever he needs to peel off: trousers, coat, everything, and piles it on Sylvan and heads upstairs for a change.
Okay. So Seven very quickly puts a brunch together for you guys, so you can have an opportunity to strategize. If you choose to take it, he's assuming you're taking it in the study, so everything is being set up in there. What do you guys wish to do next? You still have those crates in here too, like all your new gear is still freshly unpacked.
I wanted to spend just a quick minute as we arrive, just checking that the carriage is fully wound up and Igor's done his job.
Yep. So it's good to go for. I think it's an hour of cranking gives it 8 hours of motion.
Nice.
Yep. So
I think we should just find out how the situation is in Dunsbridge. So how big of a town it is and what we could expect there or something like that. I think we should have notes about that.
Why don't you give us a society check? Or if you've got a lore that you think might apply. We'll put the difficulty at, I think that one's only going to be let's say 13. Okay, so it's a critical success for Dr. Earthsprung. You're actually quite familiar with, for whatever reason, maybe you know someone from, a patient from Dunsbridge.
House calls from there.
You know who it could be is what's his name? Your person you've got working for
Cyrus?
you. Cyrus, yeah. Cyrus could actually. He's originally from Dunsbridge.
Okay.
So what it is, what you know about it thus far, just from talking to him about it, is that it is. I mean, there are manor homes that are around there that are just legacy places that were built, but Stonebridge Manor is not in Dunsbridge itself. It's one of the ones that sort of is right near there. Dunsbridge is just, it was a factory town, so it was fairly built up. The people who own the land around there are mostly aristocrats or, rich folk who bought out aristocrats fallen on hard times, which is why he ended up pursuing, work in the city, is because he didn't want to work in whatever shitty, factory that was in the town, tanning or whatever it is that they do. So you can expect kind of like an urban equivalent of the neighborhood that Dr. Earthsprung operates out of, just a little bit, a little bit more upscale. But the manor itself would be outside on its own grounds.
And when we say outside, how far out of town would we say?
Like a 15, 20-minute ride at most.
Right, so isolated, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you have any other questions about that too, we can, with a critical success, we can fill in stuff as we go.
Yeah, I mean the manor's completely separate to Dunsbridge, so I don't even know if we need to go to Dunsbridge, other than it's probably an easier journey, roads-wise and things. But
what you do know as well is because of the way the locals, they're not crazy about the local nobility either. The fact that you can't work the land and whatever else, or it's been left to work for tenant farmers or whatnot, or something like sharecropping. It's not. There is some sore feelings between the locals and the nobility.
I mean, the other thing I was going to say is they're probably preparing in some way for us. So I guess time is a bit of the essence, because she's given them obviously indication that we're obviously trying to get to her or stop her. So I'm just wondering if they'll be sort of pulling all of the various members back to the manor, and the sooner we get there, maybe the better, before they're better prepared. I don't know if that'll make any difference.
Mm-hmm. Does it? Is there anything else? I guess there's there's nothing else for us to do here, I suppose. Is there like any? Is there anything we need to find out or anything we need to talk to? I don't know that there is, but I'm just asking the question since we're thinking of our trip there.
Can we get any information on Stoneborn Manor itself, maybe, as in like the layout of the building and how many rooms and just a sort of general.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'd be able to source such information.
I expect that information might be in Dunsbridge. If there's a county like Assayer, location, that probably would be there as opposed to in Paridar. There are engineering firms and stuff in Paridar, but they seem that's more like local construction and recent construction. For factories and so forth, as opposed to the like stately manors that are outside of town. So it's unlikely that you could find stuff, but you could look through you could spend time doing research in a library here.
We could try that in Dunsbridge if we think it's. I mean, what is our approach? I mean, is this are we going to try and negotiate our way in, or are we going to try and sneak into the place? Or I'm not quite sure what the best approach is for it.
The sneaking is actually a little bit tempting.
And try and sort of encounter them one at a time and try and get these what we think is the stones controlling them, don't we? If we can try and remove them from each member.
We just need to if we can, in a way, if we can figure out this fellow woman, then probably we have a chance to get rid of all of that. But I think we will not get to her without having to encounter all of her minions first.
I mean, is it worth going to Dunsbridge, trying to get some sort of plans of the building and try and work out some sort of route to sneak in, or for at least some of us to sneak in? We could make out we were going to buy or thinking about buying the manor to make into a hospital or something that would aid Dunsbridge and one up against the nobility if they don't see the nobility particularly well. Maybe how to get some inside information. See if that gives us any advantage.
So maybe go there and maybe try to find information or even allies, perhaps, in Dunswich itself, and then either way, possibly sneak into the manor and try to make a focused attack on whatever the underlying controlling foe is, rather than the minions, which are surely operating against their own will with these stones, with these gems.
I mean, do we still think Augustus is the main person, or do we think it's the witch, or combination?
I think Augustus is just a vessel for someone else.
He's just the voice.
It seemed to be the message from his childhood friend that he wasn't a born baddie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he did have some sort of promise of magic, did he? Was he? He had some talent, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Mrs. Tabiner had said that they didn't know didn't know his father, His father was said to be of questionable parentage. So and they credit that to his gifts.
And we have obviously got, or Basil should have, the clockwork instant spy, the little... So we could use that to maybe search, or almost like a drone to investigate the manor.
Yeah.
Maybe try and identify where people are.
As could
without being detected.
Golag's shadow, for that matter.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
well, I
right.
mean, that's a good point. Mechanical that, and then that device, and then the shadow, and then even if Basil, how he feels about, he seems to be quite sneaky. We have 3 different perhaps methods, and maybe all of them, depending on how big this manor is.
Just I'm not so familiar with all these manners, and because I was mainly living in the city, but it seems to me that many of those have some kind of secret entrance, just in order to get away if some of the local folks get too excited, let me put it this way. So maybe we could find a way in that is more hidden or something like that.
Yeah, maybe some plans. If we could get some sort of blueprints of the building, maybe give us some information that give us an advantage.
So everything that we want to do now is out there, right? Nothing left for us here.
The only thing is, if we would know who had I don't know if this was a famous architect or so who had done the house. Maybe we could find a little bit out. We could find out something here, but I'm not sure. It seems like be a long shot.
Yeah, I mean, my knowledge of Dunsbridge seemed to be pointing more towards Dunsbridge having that sort of information, possibly.
Yep.
So I think if it was going to be there, it'd probably be quicker and easier to find it there, maybe.
And what gear should we be refreshing our focus on the gear that we have recently acquired? Let's see.
I mean, I've got a list of the items if anyone hasn't sort of made a note of the gifts that were given to us individually. Like I said, the clockwork instant spy was Basil's, wasn't it? Sally's already got the gauntlets.
The gauntlet, which she has put to good use.
We've got 3 mechanical torches, which is the one I used to sort of light up the... So we definitely... I've got one at the moment, but yeah, we'll definitely take all of those. And 2 brass canister flare beacons. And obviously the wagon.
Cauterizing torch.
Yeah, I've got the cauterizing torch and the conducting electro cable.
Yeah. Very good. Well, let's. I guess we should head out. Put that carriage to use. Take it for a spin, as it were, to the surrounding area.
Yeah, head to Dunsbridge.
Okay.
So who can drive this one, or does it drive itself?
It does require a pilot.
Okay.
And that will be... I believe it's in advanced players.
Is that some sort of crafting, or is that...
It might be, actually. Hold on here. Let me find... if you've got a lore that would apply, then that would be more appropriate. But let's see here. Vehicles. Here we go. 174. Yeah, piloting checks. Most vehicles use driving lore or pilot lore. you could use crafting, I think, at a higher difficulty.
And Golag's trained in crafting at a minimal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dr. Ersprung's, he's good in the crafting.
Okay.
No driving or piloting.
Like, you don't need it to necessarily get it into motion. It's just if there's a chase, or you're driving in inclement weather, then you may need to make a check. And untrained, it would be probably either wisdom or dexterity, plus, if you were trained in one of those things, plus your level plus 2. If you're untrained, then it's just your flat ability modifier. You could try with crafting, but again, like, the difficulty would be quite... It's the difference between knowing how to, build something and knowing how to operate it.
Yeah.
I think crafting is what we're falling back on.
Okay.
I'll while the guys are having something to eat, I'll just be flicking through the manual that came with it, just trying to pick up any basics.
You've got like the fundamentals of how to operate this thing. Then, so you're fairly. You can certainly get it into motion. You're going to be a bit of a terror on the street for the first little bit, just like anyone who gets their license for the first time. But I'm sure you're fairly confident you'll be able to muddle your way through it. What is your crafting bonus? Yours is quite high, isn't it?
8. Yeah.
Okay, so you're probably the one in the best position to go. Like, what is yours?
Mine's 8, but I'll be back up if.
Okay. You could sit up there as well too. I mean, two of you guys with your driving goggles on.
Yeah. Sure.
Golag screaming advice as a, I guess, front seat,
Look
back
out
seat
for
driver.
that man over there! My goodness.
I'll have Igor just sort of making a sort of horn sound constantly as we're going down.
All right. So, anything else you guys wish to prep before you guys head out to Dunsbridge?
Just load the equipment on board, I suppose. At least it's not that big a deal, but the torches or the.
Yep. They got that.
Make sure we bring everything.
That big light from Mrs. Hunter, as well, through the fog light. You could have that on back or on the front.
So, just one more question. So I think we knew who gave Stoneground Manor to Augustus Thorngrave.
Yes.
Yes, and could you just tell that again? I'm sorry.
It was the Colston Head family.
Colston Head family, but we don't know anything about them.
They're just a very well-off aristocratic family.
The Colston Head gave it to Augustus, huh?
They turned it over, yeah. And members of the Colston Heads have apparently fallen in with the Elder Order of the Endless Odyssey.
Do we know when they gave it away, Kevin?
This has all happened over the span of about maybe 2-3 months.
Oh, very recent, yeah.
Yeah. They very recently came on the scene, and which is partly why it hasn't been drawing quite as much attention yet. And it also, if they are working behind the scenes, it might explain why they were able to suddenly appear on and have already, their ducks in a row to not draw attention from, say, the university. Mm-hmm. Almost as if a former member of the faculty knew that they might be a problem.
Sounds about right, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. So,
all right, I think we shove off.
Okay. So you guys head out. And let me see here. I think I've got... Here we go. Yes, and the streets of Oakenford. I've got it listed as Oakenford, Dunsbridge. There is a big church of the Heavenly Host in the center of town, as is, not uncommon for these smaller communities. The drive out affords you some time to for you, Adam, to get sort of used to the operation of this strange vehicle. And this is sort of what you guys roll into as you get in, almost on cue, with you guys leaving Paridar. The Paridar weather follows you, and there is rain falling as you come rolling into the town of Dunsbridge. The combination of your vehicle and its driver certainly draws attention from some locals, but there's not a lot of people on the street. And once they see the curiosity, or once they kind of take in the initial curiosity of this patchwork man driving this clockwork vehicle, they go back to whatever they were doing before. Everyone kind of looks up from playing dominoes and watch you guys all go by. Goes back to playing dominoes. There's going to be a tavern or an inn somewhere here. There's got to be at least 2 pubs in town, and then there will be the town hall, which is probably near the church, because that's sort of where the center of town will be. What are you guys intending on doing here? It's likely about probably about 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock in the afternoon when you guys are arriving.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, what was our best bet to try and find some plans on this manor from my previous
town records or county? Yeah, this Dunsbridge is sort of the county seat, so there will be if you have access to the town hall or to the records in the town hall, then that's likely where you would find them.
Maybe some of us go there and some of us go to the tavern for a little bit of chit chat about their neighbors, about their erstwhile noble neighbors.
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure that they will have put off some of the employees because they couldn't have any witnesses for whatever they are doing. So there must be former employees there, and I would say they would be in a pub, maybe.
Disgruntled employees.
Yes.
Those are always a good source.
Mm-hmm.
Father used to say we almost lived on that for a while. All right. Well, I think Golag will probably be best served hitting the tavern.
Okay.
Who feels inspired for some record delving?
Yeah, I'll go to the town hall.
Yeah. Not sure I've got. Let me see.
Yeah. So, Sally should decide where she wants to go, and Basil will either go with Adam or with Golak, I think. Wherever he is more useful.
So gathering, if it helps you decide, gathering information is usually a diplomacy task, unless you've got something else that you want to use in its place. To gain access to the records, there's a number of different ways you could do that. You guys could lie your way in. You could try and break in. Not to organize you by where you guys are on the screen, but Basil and Dr. Ersprung have proven
great team.
Little and large, yeah.
Yeah. A big and tall and stout, crafty and small team. And Sally also proved to be quite helpful for getting Golag to defeat his true nemesis, which is Ivy. So
my torn, and reminding me incessantly about my torn trousers or whatnot.
Yeah. So I don't want to make the decision for you guys though, but is that sort of what you guys are thinking of?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So which one do you want to deal with first? Do you want to deal with the town hall, or do you want to deal with the pub?
Do you want? I mean, the tavern's a little more straightforward. Would you like more time to think about how you want to tackle the records, or do you have it ready, good to go?
No, I think. Darren, what do you think? I would be happy with them going first, but
yeah, I'm happy for you to go first, definitely.
Yeah, it gives you a little more time to strategize. We have less strategizing to do. It's just going to be beers and complaining about nobles. As he now he looks like a more upper class, so he's going to have to be. In fact, he shouldn't have changed. What was he thinking? He should have come in here frumpled, and but that's not in his instinct. So.
Okay. You come in with your little, like, driving cap on, your goggles.
right. With my goggles sitting on my forehead, trying to act like a farmer.
Yeah.
You're now bringing up these ideas of the wind and the willows and Frog, Toad, Mr. Toad driving his automobile.
Yeah, those nobles who I hate them. Yeah.
So Golag and Sally, the local tavern, thanks to an online tavern name generator, the local pub is called the Yellow Duck. That is the second one behind thing called the Jewish Bee. So it can be a good source of things, but you do need to exercise discretion for some of the suggested names. So the yellow duck is where you guys will be enjoying a pint. It's it's one of these small town ones where it's gotta have been here for hundreds of years, and it likely has been in the same family for as long. You can see people, as you walk past. It's still wintertime as well. You can still see people working, or enjoying a pint inside, enjoying some lunch. This seems to be the small town meeting place, as it were. So you guys walk in, and there's a mix of people in here too. I mean, you definitely are, Golag, likely to be the most well-dressed of the people here in Ms. Dumer. You certainly are the most exotic looking, but there is a mix of, humans and dwarves and gnomes and some of the more unusual races that populate the Paridar countryside. They look up. There's maybe, there's going to be the table of, like, the nosy old folks who are kind of keeping an eye on you. Whoa, look what showed up here.
What, Ms. Dumer, who most likely looks like a disgruntled employee to you in here, as Golag's eyes adjust to the perhaps darker darker lighting of a tavern.
So, I think you could use either perception to try and pick up on, like, body language, or you could use society to try and, like, get a sense of, like, okay, that's a person who clearly, isn't a farmer who's in town, or a factory worker who's in town, or something like that.
Yeah, because what are we we're looking for somebody who's working in the house, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess I would look at it two ways. I'd scan the room to see if there's any likely types, and otherwise I would follow that up with a diplomatic chat with the barman.
Okay.
Or a barmaid, even better. That's probably even more likely.
So why don't you give us a society check as well? Yours will be a DC 20. Look at that. So +1. There you go. So Golag, what you can spot, you're looking around, and you, given your upbringing, you have an eye for a butler. And there is a man a little thick around the waist with, like, he's got the look of an upper class in the sense of, like, he's well groomed, he's, his clothes are kind of impeccable, but it's also got the look of, like, he doesn't wear these casual clothes terribly often. He seems to be nursing a pint at the bar while, he has a newspaper in front of him, but he's got that, like, 1,000-yard stare where he's just seemingly lost in thought. He's probably about maybe, like, late 40s, early 50s, bald, but, very well, not like completely bald, but, like, thinning, but well crept, well maintained. He's got some nice spectacles, but, like, nice that a working person could afford, not nice that, like, an aristocrat would get. Mm-hmm. So definitely, if you were to clock an out-of-work butler, this would be the person you would be looking for.
I may have one over here, Mr. Mir. What do you see?
Yep, he looks a hopeful one. Agreed.
Okay.
Being as he is, I think you might have more luck with him.
Yes, I'll give it a try. You want to come, or do you have Corey of your own?
I will keep an eye from a distance. I don't want to spook him with surrounding him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That sounds good.
Why don't you give us a diplomacy check to make a first impression here, Golag?
All right.
Let's see how things go. That's pretty good.
Ooh, good.
Again, like you know how to speak nicely to help.
I see what he's. Can I tell what he's drinking?
Like a pint of bitter.
I will order that for. Let's see. I come up to him and I say, I come up to him and I say, I beg your pardon, sir. I just arrived in this town.
Shakes out of his reverie.
And don't know anyone here. And he looks at the bar at that point and says, a bitter here. And he says, oh, I beg your pardon. May I buy you one as well? I'm just in the middle of getting myself a drink.
His is like barely touched from it, and he's kind of looks you up and down, clocks you for your station. Forgive me, sir. What? I'm well set for my beverage, but please, you're welcome to take a seat if you'd like.
I was also thinking of getting they serve food here. Do you know, sir? Or I guess how would I address him? Probably not sir, huh? Probably.
You could introduce yourself. I mean, you feel free to. Sir is perfectly acceptable as well, but.
Okay, I didn't know the station-wise how that works.
He's definitely below you in station. He's working class. He's not. Yeah.
I'll keep with that then. And I say, they serve food here. Do you know?
They do. They've got quite a fine steak and kidney pie, sir.
Oh, well, I'll take your recommendation then. Yeah, I don't eat in front of you necessarily without offering, though. Would you like one?
That is most generous. And then you can hear the lady from behind. Oh, have one, Benson. And he looks this and kind of pats his ample, midsection. I would appreciate. Very kind, sir. Thank you.
Who was the woman? So she's sitting.
Woman is clearly part of the staff. Yeah, she's behind the thing.
In, madam.
Of course, sir. And a drink for you.
And a bitter for me.
Bitter for you as well, too. All right. Andy, draw me bitter. And she heads off back to the kitchen to get some food made for you. He sits and he moves the newspaper over. He says, "Please, sir, make yourself comfortable. If I'm not imposing."
Of course not. And he settles himself and takes off his hat and gets himself situated.
He turns and says, "My name is Benson Darby, sir."
Ah, Mr. Darby, my name is Golag.
Golag. Let me make a quick check for him. He's ringing his. You can see his mind is thinking like it's almost like he's got on the tip of his brain of who you might be, but he can't place it quite.
Yeah, I hail from Paridar, not too far from here.
I took from a day's outing, sir.
Indeed. Have you spent much time in Paridar yourself?
I have occasion with my, and he kind of catches himself, with my former employment to make my way to the city. Indeed. Impressive.
And Golag gives Benson a an obvious look over and says, well, you carry yourself well, sir. Were you your former employment you mentioned? Might that have been with the Colston Heads, I believe, is a family out here, is it not? Am I on the wrong track?
It's only his years of training that restrains his reaction a little bit, but he does still kind of, yes, sir. Are you familiar with the Colston Heads?
Well, by name, I don't know much about Dunwich, and it's a pleasure to finally get out here a bit.
I'm sorry, sir. If you were looking for an introduction to them, I unfortunately have left their employ as of late, due to...
No, I appreciate the thought. I am actually... let's see. I am actually here on perhaps a bit of business with them, and unestablished as of yet, and just didn't know much about the family. Do you have anything you could?
You can hear from behind the bar. Me? Well, you ain't gonna get anything from them now. They've been going and turned it over to those kooks. And you can see Darby kind of looks at her. Sheila, it's not proper to gossip. You can see a little bit of his accent is slipping. Clearly, he wasn't born into being a butler. It makes you question what Seven might actually sound like when he's away from you.
I'll have to look into that, I know to myself. I look over at Sheila, and is she very busy? Is there a lot of people in here?
No.
Yeah. I say...
you get the sense from Sheila, she's that kind of like old school, pub matron where like she'll get things done when when she's ready for you.
Yeah. He attempts to put on the charm, although he's better at this at parties than he is taverns. But he tries to say, Sheila, come over here and stop yelling across the tavern and join us for a bitter, would you?
Oh, I'm not good. I'm not infringing on you. No, it looks like, is your missus going to be joining you? And she points over at Sally.
Says, my...
Young lady, do you need something to eat as well?
Do you have any fish?
Fish? Of course we got some fish. What would you like?
Have you got any trout?
Oh, I can
I
get
do
some.
like a good trout.
And if you bring yourself forward in the light, her eyes kind of go like, whoa, I'll bet you do. I'll bet you do. Get you that then. And what can we wet your whistle? Andy, 3 trout sent.
You don't need to cook them. It's okay.
Just raw like. All right. Andy tells me
you're gonna put everyone at ease.
Customer's always right, so we'll give you that then. So they'll be bringing the fish up. No need to cook them, Andy.
Right. So I pull up a chair.
Okay. And Darby seems to be taking you in as well. Let's see if he... his eyes kind of get a little big at seeing you and says... you get the sense that he recognizes you but does not quite know how to address it. Years of being, seen but not heard are likely ingrained deeply into him. But you can tell he seems to probably recognize you, Sally.
This is
Do I
Ms.
recognize
Demir.
him in any way? I've been watching him for a while. No bells ringing?
You've never seen him, no. It may very well be that he's heard of you. You, as when you first came to Paridar, you were not only a point of interest or a guest of interest for the social set. The newspapers were quite interested in you as well, until the the next outrageous thing happened.
I'll make the introduction. It's Ms. Demir. This is Benson. Benson
Darby. And he kind of stands up awkwardly. The chair comes back and he says, are you Deep Sally?
I believe that was the name I got labelled at some point. Have we met?
We have not, madam. I am, and he got his best, manners on right now. He gets up and, forgive me for, it's not often we see someone of your notoriety in our region. I was...
Notoriety, even.
Indeed. Is it true what they say, madam, that you come from beneath the waves?
Oh, that indeed. Lovely place. You should visit sometime.
And it kind of like looks at you, go like this. Like, is this a joke? Is it a? And then he awkwardly kind of like, quite a jest, madam, quite a jest. Indeed. I suppose I should work on holding my breath then, no?
That's the one.
Indeed.
But it gets easier in time.
Indeed. Do you mind if I don't want to intrude on yourself and Mr. Golag?
Oh, no.
Not at all. It's a delight to meet some people from where we're visiting.
Oh, and he sits down. Forgive me. I know you. If you are with Mr. Golag, you are on the vacation. Would it be a bother if I asked you a couple of questions?
Oh, I trust you'll be discreet, but sure, certainly.
Oh, most assuredly, madam. Most assuredly. And he just will ask you some questions about, like, you know, where you're from, and he's more interested in the spectacle of your, you know, where you're from, the exotic background that you have. You know?
I'll give him some juicy hints.
With that, you have easily improved his. So between Golag's good initial impression on this guy and your handling of seeing a fan, you quite improved his relationship to being friendly.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm. So what? So Golag is, and that's the thing. He hasn't recognized Golag. He seemed like he was trying to put the name to it, and if he'd been successful in a society check, he would have known. It's not. Paridar is progressive in some ways, but like there's not a lot of phenomenally successful orcs in the area.
That's just Golag's insecurity. He's just like, and I'm not recognized. Like, what? How did this happen? What?
Yeah. I mean, if you had introduced yourself as Son of Dak, then he certainly would have clicked. Everybody knows.
He's got that loaded. He's got that ready to go in a moment. Yeah.
Nice. I'm not calling in Dad's name until I have to.
Oh, you've heard of him, have you?
Yeah.
You know, kind of. Yeah.
Oh God, like the Daxman. I'm actually, this as a non sequitur. I mentioned Behind the Bastards before on here, but Behind the Bastards did a series 2 years ago about the history of policing. It was a 6-part thing, and it's got some fucking great, especially the early period. So there's some great ideas to steal for how the Paridar Detective Agency conducts itself.
Cool. Yeah, absolutely.
So the what do you guys what do you wish to sort of direct the conversation towards? She's not wrong about the kidney pie. Steak and kidney pie is delicious, and the fresh, the trout. It is. I mean, it's river trout, so it's. It may not be quite your, the deep sea fish that you enjoy, but.
Something exotic, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Something a little out of the ordinary.
I think that so Golag is going to start his question with one more hospitable hook by saying, "Well, I'll mention. May I ask first of all, what area were you in your prior employment, if I might ask? What were you in? What did you do?
I was the head of household, of course.
I knew it. I placed it immediately. I know a man with presence and keeping himself well. I will mention. I know quite a few in Paridar. I don't know if you might know my father, Son of Dak, and we know quite a few. And so, if you need a references or leads, I would be happy to help. But on that theme, being probably on my way to the manor, possibly later, can you inform me as to the general status of the manor, given that, as Sheila has ably pointed out, that it has changed hands recently? What's the status over there? What's going on?
I can assure you, sir, that though I have left the employ of the Colston Heads, Stoneburn Manor remains in the family's hands. It is my former masters have seen fit to turn the manor over to a collection of eccentrics, and they have deemed my services and those of the staff as no longer necessary. We have served
the entire staff, you say?
Indeed.
Wow. It looks at Sally, whoa, with the eyes wide.
The Colston Heads have been good enough to see us through, but if this carries on, we will be needing to, come spring, if their sentiments are still the same, then we may need to find alternate arrangements, and it would be very tragic. The Colston Heads are a wonderful family. And Sally and Golag, you can each give us a society check. Just want to see if you can read between the lines with this feller. Yeah, Golag, you can definitely. So what he's talking about, he would never speak about the financial situation of the family. What he might actually be talking about is that they may be running out of money and not be able to afford their staff. One of the things that comes with industrialization in Paridar is that, unless your family has invested in that stuff, you may just have a very big manor with a huge staff that requires a lot of upkeep and no real means of income. And if they are somehow, paying for the staff as well as whatever else is going on with the Elder Order, then they may very well be running short of funds and not be able to pay the staff anymore. And there is a weird, familial relationship between long-term staff and the noble families that they serve. A feeling that they belong, as that they're almost part of the family. So the position this person may be in, you've seen this happen with other families too. One bad investment and suddenly the family's wiped out and they can't afford their staff anymore.
So how does this, there is a name that has reached Paridar, this Augustus Thorngrove? Is that a name?
He arcs his eye in only the way that a Paridon butler can, in a disapproving manner. Yes, Master Thorngrove. Master Thorngrove is the head of the eccentrics of which I spoke.
And how do they figure into this picture, would you say? The family has most unfortunately found it, I assume, necessary to unfortunately forego a staff for the moment. But how did this Thorngrove come into play?
Lady Emma and Mistress Alice. He made quite an impression on them, and they felt it wise to support such an endeavor. And Lord Colston Head is supportive of his wife and daughter's proclivities.
Is it the case, would you say, that Thorngrove and his this organization, is it fairly expensive in its needs?
Of course, I would not. Such gossip would be unbecoming of one of your stations, sir. So I would not insult you to share such dalliances, but I will say that Master Thorngrove has a taste for the finer things.
Indeed. Well, to your knowledge, do they ever leave the manor? Or they leave the manor often?
Oh, indeed. A veritable troupe of theatrical types going out to perform their whatever it is they do for those in Paridar. From what I hear, they've become quite popular with a certain class.
Ms. Dumir, you've encountered some of this in Paridar, have you not? This Thorngrove at some kind of event or some such?
Absolutely. It is terribly fashionable. Although rather, as I know, these fads come and go.
And the way he says,
But there's something unusual.
he repeats your word fashionable in a way that just, as if it tastes bad in his mouth.
There is
They are most certainly unusual.
Indeed. We were dismissed as he arrived, but it did seem to be quite an particular sort that he hung around. Mistress Alice is a quite striking young woman.
There's only a few names that I had heard associated in this area. Another one, because of our associations with the university in Paridar, a former student.
Do you have associations
perhaps?
with the university, sir?
Yes, a bit. I participate in Paridar's society and events, charities, of course, and the university comes into play at times. And there was a Gwendolyn Fallow that I had heard associated with at least with the this whole situation a bit, maybe the organization of this elder organization. Have you heard that name?
Fallow. I cannot say the name. No.
I'll describe her. I think I could, right?
You can describe her, yeah. The trouble is, without the picture that Basil drew, it'd be difficult to say.
Yeah.
And that describes any number of Thorngrove's followers as well, too. Young, attractive,
Indeed.
dark hair, dressed in dark colors,
Does she have a reputation of always being seen with a cat, or is that just us?
I don't think you guys have asked about that. At least not when you spoke to Professor Galberry.
Yeah.
If you mention a cat, though, there's a chance he might.
Yeah, I mentioned a cat.
Yes, there was one. Curious.
Curious indeed.
Lord Thorngrove, I would have thought in past would have forbidden such creatures in the manor.
But he allows this one, eh?
Indeed.
And it resides there.
We even had to dismiss all of the hounds.
Oh,
The houndsman is keeping them in his yard now, banished from the property.
What were you saying, Ms. Dumier?
No, I was just going to ask if it was unusual that that he liked cats. But I guess if he was previously had all his hunting dogs, that would be a yes.
He most assuredly enjoyed his hounds. Morning rides were not unusual with him, though they have not resided at the manor regularly. They enjoyed weekends.
Do you know if the lot of them are in town currently?
Who do you mean, sir?
Well,
the eccentrics?
Yes, the eccentrics.
They keep themselves to the manor. Were it not for their unseemly manners, I would think them monastic. But listen to me, though. Forgive me, my manners are normally not as poor. The good company and the pints of bitter. I apologize.
No, it's quite all right. It's on me. I'm the instigator here. I'm just curious of what I am going to possibly encounter if, as planned, that
you have dealings with Mr. Thorngrove.
Well, not currently, but we might make a call on them to see. We have, you understand, I have a business in Paridar, and we have clients that are possibly interested in some association with the family. And I just wanted to. I'd heard that
his eyes go big as he seemingly suddenly clicks with who you are, and he says, "You're Doc's son."
Yes, that's. I cannot hide from it, and he's alluding to Golag's alluding to his he's orc. He's an orc, and
so his eyes
can't quite.
Then has Thorngrove has the attention of the agency then?
Well, it's a perfectly reasonable question, and all of this is by my instigation, our conversation, but of course I can't quite.
No, forgive me. I wish not. The Paridar Detective Agency is well known out here. If there is an investigation into Master Thorngrove, then I wish not to impede that in any way. I will not interrupt.
No.
You get the feeling this guy reads a lot of broadsheets. That he reads a lot of stuff. He happens to know an awful lot about Sally. He lives in the middle of nowhere. He likely, is a prolific reader of news.
And he's got some time on his hands now.
Oh, he's got a ton of time on his hands. Yeah.
Yes. Well, this is a particular operation known as the Shadow of Illumination. You may have heard of that as well. Golag can't help himself to. It's not my father's deal.
Are you in association with your father then?
Well, by not directly. I have opened another type of organization similar to my father's. We are in routine contact about our pursuits, which are very similar.
Oh, interesting, most interesting.
Yes.
That is, and it's the same line of work then.
It is quite similar. Not, it's in the same realm. It's not, maybe not identical, but I have my own proclivities and skill sets that I thought we thought were best met by a slightly different operation.
Okay. As the barmaid brings yet another round of pints down, she says, "Always good for a son to step out of his father's shadow." Clears him away.
Sheila, I feel like I've known you. I feel like I've known you for years, Sheila, and you sure you won't have a seat here with us for a
Too much to do. Too much to do. She throws the bar rag over her shoulder as she brings the empty pint glasses away. There's no one there's no way she's got anything else to do. She just doesn't want to sit with you guys.
Yeah.
So she makes her way back into to the bar. Anything else you wish to talk to Benson Darby about?
Sally, can you think of anything?
I think we're good.
I think we're good.
Okay. He certainly is not going anywhere, but you can certainly follow up with him if you feel the need to. We are 10 minutes off from end of session, so I think to give you guys, I don't want to rush your opportunity to sneak in, only because I want to allow, in case anyone decides to throw anyone off a train, as it were. So we have ample amounts of time to do that. So maybe what we'll do, guys, is we'll put a pin in our session here, and we'll find out what Basil and Dr. Ersprung have uncovered at City Hall in 2 weeks' time. So for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for our Chapter 6 of the Endless Odyssey. The Endless Odyssey, our most recent mystery in the Spires of Paridar. As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the campaign, or the game we're playing, please do not hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section down below, and I'll endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. In addition, there is a link down below to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where we have channels dedicated to this campaign, every other campaign we run on the channel, as well as a bunch of other great channels, including regular information about online conventions and things being offered through our links in commerce channel, and finding a group, and charity initiatives, and just a bunch of great people over there, a bunch of great conversation. You are more than welcome to join us over there. In addition, we have a link down below to something called Heroes Save Villages, which is the charity fundraising campaign that we run on the channel. It benefits the SOS Children's Villages International Charity, a really great organization active in over 130 countries, benefiting over 80,000 orphaned and abandoned children, including, at the time of recording, ongoing efforts in Ukraine and the surrounding region. All donations that go through that link go directly to SOS Children's Villages International. None of it goes to the channel or any other middleman. It just goes to help the kids who benefit from SOS Children's Villages International's activities. And as a small way of saying thank you for that, for every $25 Canadian that you donate, you get one chance to win the grand prize or one of the other terrific prizes in our next charity raffle. Next charity raffle will be, I believe, the second week of June. I need to finalize the date, but I'll have that on the Dungeon Musings Discord server soon as well. That will be, the grand prize is a copy of the Platinum Edition Wild Beyond the Witchlight box set, donated by our friends at Beetle & Grimm's Pandemonium Warehouse. If you're not familiar with Beetle & Grimm's products, the Platinum Editions are their $500 flagship boxes. Has all the contents of the Wild Beyond the Witchlight adventure, as well as a ton of extra handouts and miniatures and posters or maps and wings in this case, and stuffed animal in this case, and it's just a ton of extra great stuff in there that really enhances the play experience at the table. And our second prize is another donated item from them. It is a copy of the Gold Edition Absalom City of Lost Omens box set. That is the same contents as the hard copy of the Absalom City of Lost Omens book from Paizo, but it adds in some extra adventures. It breaks down the information into like districts and whatnot. It gives you a ton of great tools to enhance the play experience at the table, including massive maps, a bunch of extra encounters, hangers to go on your DM screen that has information about the city to enhance the play experience. I did a full unboxing of it where I was quite blown away by the contents. Best city box set I've ever seen. And that's our second prize, again donated by our friends at Beetle & Grimm's Pandemonium Warehouse. If you don't win those, you still have some other great prizes, including a chainmail dice bag made by our resident armor smith, Dave. Dave's also donated a trilogy of Advanced Dungeons & Dragons starter books, a Player's Handbook, DMG, and Monstrous Manual. There's also a set of the full 5th edition Iron Kingdoms books donated by our buddy Jeff. Some other stuff has been donated, and we'll have some prizes from our Dungeon Musings Red Bubble shop as well, including some posters, t-shirts, mugs, and whatnot. I need to do some art for Spires of Paridar to add to the store, so if you are a fan of this campaign, you will find stuff in there. Get off your butt, Madison. Come on. Jeez. then again, all donations go directly to SOS Children's Villages International. None of it goes to the channel or any other middleman. It just goes to help the kids who benefit from that. Last thing I'll say as well, too, I know we have fans who are joining us still from Ukraine, and at the time of recording, the invasion from Russia is still ongoing, and our thoughts and best hopes are with you for strength, safety, and for a quick end to the conflict. As well for those who are joining us from Russia who are opposing the war. That's no small thing to be doing. Last thing I will say is an enormous thank you to our stalwart illuminators. So, Sean, James, Ingolf, and Darren, thank you so much for joining me back in the Spires of Paridar. Guys, we're in our 4th month of this campaign now. I just realized we're coming through the end of April. Yeah, I'm enjoying the shit out of learning more about the Spires of Paridar and your characters in them too. So, thank you guys. With that, so we will bring our session to a close. We'll be back in this under the Spires of Paridar in 2 weeks' time, or more accurately, in the City Hall of the town of Dunsbridge. And until we see you again, we hope that we gave you a few hours to take your mind off of the troubles of our world and think about the troubles that our stalwart illuminators are uncovering. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.